Hello, friends. You're listening to Profoundish. I'm your host today, Weston. I'm joined by Alex shortly, and today is the sick episode. You can't, or maybe you can, tell that I'm a little under the weather today, and I just thought maybe I'll just use that as our topic. We're going to talk about, strangely, dogs, and then sickness and how Alex and I deal with that, and then we're going to play a game of pretty much which cure is crazier, as Alex has to guess which between several sets of cures was written by me and which was written by 1740's John Wesley. It's a good one. Stay tuned, keep listening. You're listening to Profoundish.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Father.
Hello, Father. Hello, Mother. What was that? That was an advertisement. That was a commercial. Hello. I'm Googling this. Hello, Mother. Hello.
Isn't it like cat food or something?
Canine Advantix. That's right, because it's the little puppy.
It's a puppy, okay.
Yeah. Hello, Mother. Hello, Mother.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't it like a super cute puppy, too? I think I remember that. I remember that dog commercial, and it's from like the point of view of the dog, and he's like, food, and he's like running around. I remember thinking that was funny at the time.
Yeah, that was for what was that for? That was for bacon strips, I think.
Yeah, I just remember like at the very end, goes, "Oh, I love you," or something like that, and then
I remember that too, something like that at least.
One of my favorite lines from any Pixar movie is in Up with the dog and the cone of shame, and he's like, and I can't remember what part it was. It's near the climax of the movie, and they're reunited, and the dog's there or something. And anyway, he's like, he was hiding under the porch, and like, why are you hiding under the porch? I was hiding under the porch because I love you. That's all he said. And I was thinking that's such a dog way of thinking.
I think
I was hiding under the porch because I love you.
Doug. I love Doug. I think that's what his name was.
Is that the bird?
No, maybe it is. Hang on.
No, the bird is Kevin.
Dog from Up. Yeah, it might be Kevin. Doug. D-U-G. Doug. Like
Who's
dig,
Doug?
but Doug. The dog.
Oh, his name is Doug. Okay.
Yeah, the dog from Up is Doug. I love him.
The dog.
He's just so derpy. I'm not a real big pet person. I've discovered this about myself, that I tell people oh yeah, I like animals, I like pets or whatever, but I think other people's love for animals and pets is on another plane of existence from mine. I think I like animals, but then I am routinely shown that other people put me right in my place. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I know exactly what you mean.
I was talking to someone just the other day, and she saw and I never saw what the dog looked like. I literally didn't care enough to go look. It was this dog that was in a vehicle outside our work or whatever, windows down. So, dog was fine. Because it's hot now. So that's why I'm like, dog was fine, windows down.
Right.
But my coworkers saw this dog in this car or whatever, and she was just going off about how cute this dog was and how it deserved the world or whatever. I'm like, you don't even know this dog. This dog could be a serial killer.
Yeah.
It could eat rabbits every day. This could be an awful dog, right? And you're just obsessing over this stranger's dog just because it's a dog and it's cute. And I just don't understand.
There's two kinds of people. There are true animal lovers, lovers. And I would always say the same thing you said. I like pets. If I go to a friend's house and they have a dog or a cat, I'll be petting it, and I'll be playing around with the cat because out of the two I prefer cats just personally. But then that is one thing, because that's almost just kind of being courteous. They got an animal, you can pet it, whatever, you're fine. Yeah, that thing, I got a few friends like that where it's just it almost seems obsessive. It's
you're right.
And we're not downplaying. You can love animals as all you want, but really does put in perspective, kind of your point. Do I really love them as much as I say that I do, or I definitely, because I would not call myself an animal lover. I would say that I am. I definitely like pets, But like, I would never go out of my way, I think, to have a pet. That's not on my radar, you know?
I'm a pet tolerator.
I was thinking of saying tolerate, but I thought, is that too harsh?
It might be. I don't know. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, is that quite right? Probably not. Because I'm just the same way. Like, I like animals just fine. I like friends' animals just fine. Get along with animals all the time. Do I want to have a pet myself? No.
You know, it's funny. I think I would have a cat if there were zero like maintenance related things with the cat. If the cat didn't poop, pee, or eat, I would probably have a cat.
Yeah.
Or shed, if it didn't shed. You know what I mean? Like, I think for me, that's the big reason what stops me on the pet side of it. However, I think we should also differentiate people who love cats and people who love dogs are very different people.
Yeah,
And
stereotypically, but yeah.
It may be a stereotype, but I see it more than not. And usually, I notice the dog lovers are the ones that are doing what your story just told. It's like this: I cannot do anything else until I spend all of my attention on this dog. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because of how dogs reciprocate. Like, because dogs are very, you know, they reciprocate in a similar way. You know, they're very like, oh, I love you. You know, they're very emotional.
They're very expressive.
That's the word I was thinking of. Yeah, that's a better word. Like expressive, much more so than like a cat is, I guess. So maybe people who, I don't know, because I won't name a name, but there's a mutual friend of ours, who I would never consider to be very expressive at all. In fact, he's quite quiet, but he lights up with dogs. Because I was about to make a point where like maybe it's just a personality thing, but he's very shy, very quiet, very reserved. But as soon as a dog is in the mix, I mean he's the life of the party with that, at least with the dog. So I don't know. It just there's something in that brain chemistry with those people. It does it for them.
I don't personally get it. Part of me wants to. Part of me wants to understand that because I feel like maybe there's a piece of me missing, like a piece of humanity missing or whatever. Like what is this elation that you get from just like another animal? Like I'm almost jealous. Like how do I feel that? What am I missing out on?
I get that too. The love is increasing. It has over the years. On the Two Piece Podcast, shout out to my podcast, the Two Piece Podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, anywhere you get your podcast, check that out. Anyway, we did an episode about dogs a long time ago, top 5 dog breeds, like favorite dog breeds, and we read statistics about like owning dogs, and the millennial generation and younger, like numbers are through the roof, not through the roof, but they're higher than they've ever been for the amount of households who have dogs specifically. Cats, the stats didn't change so much, but I thought that was interesting. And I know like less people are having children. Maybe they're replacing them with dogs.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I think there's also, and this is just complete anecdotal evidence, so this just might not be true, but I feel like there's an increasing number of people that are using pets as a sort of like practice run for children. You know what I mean? So it's like it's the substitute. Yeah. So it's like they aren't having kids anymore. So it's like, well, let's get a dog or a cat and see how it goes for like the animal is like the excuse. That might be anecdotal. I don't know how much of that plays a part. I hate that personally, animals, pets, etc., and human babies, very different creatures, and I don't think we should treat them the same. I think that's just irresponsible to both animals and the human baby. But anyway,
I've got it.
Yeah.
Well, no, I agree. There's really no comparison. That's very different. But here's the thing, though, because I was about to say, like, there's a whole deeper conversation that we do not need to get into in this podcast, but about like valuing, like putting the value in the life of an animal versus the life of a human. You know, and that's a whole conversation maybe for another time. But
because I get it, no one wants to see a sick dog,
right? But like, if I'm gonna let's face it, if I'm gonna choose between saving this child I just sang a song about that on a Jamma Chat, saving children. But
You
saving
did.
a child or saving a dog, I would like to think. No hate against dogs. Dogs are great, but I'm going to save that human.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm going to save my own kind.
Like
I'm just saying, I don't know if everybody would be on that same page. I feel like for some people it would be a bigger dilemma. At least it seems that way.
I agree
know it
with
sounds
you.
extreme, but
no, based on what I've talked to people about, like how just the like I said, obsessive love for dogs, or really any pet. I believe this would be a bigger dilemma for some people. For me, it's not a dilemma. I love pets just fine. I love dogs, cats, etc. But I would never, in my right mind, ever even consider saving a pet if it put a human at risk. Period. A human to me, maybe this is specious, right? In a few decades from now, when animals are like sentient with like talking collars or whatever, and they're like full citizenship, maybe I'm going to be like the new age racist, right? I'm like speciest. I put human lives above that of any other animal. Maybe I'm the criminal here. I don't know, but I'll take that. I just don't see humans on the same plane as pets. Now, I get the whole like, but they have lives and emotions and thinks and thoughts and all that. I agree with you 100%. I don't think pets are like automatons, like they thought 200 years ago, like literally just robots that feel pain or something. No, I get it. They're fully developed creatures with their own lives. Respect that. We'll always choose a human over a pet, though. Always.
Right. Like, there's a reason why, like, did dogs build this society? No. Humans did. Like, I don't know. To me, it seems like a no-brainer. Like, it's, it's saving it's a human life. But we get it. Let us know. Hey, if you're reaching out to us at Profoundish Pod on Twitter, Instagram, or you're listening on YouTube, let us know, would you save a human or a dog first if you had to choose? We want to know. And tell us why.
Wouldn't it be wild if this episode was supposed to be about dogs?
Is it?
It's not.
Okay, you know what's funny? Because I was thinking about that, and I thought, I started the dog conversation. And I thought, you and I just got in the stupid thing last episode about, like, segues and stuff. Like, if I just walked them right into that, I'm going to be so pissed.
Yeah. Last episode we were talking about how great, like, I've had a few good transitions. You've had a good transition. Like, we were talking about that. I'm like, could you imagine if this episode was about dogs? It's not. I tried to transition when I mentioned sick dogs, but you didn't take the bait. No, this is the sick episode.
That's okay. That's topical.
It's topical.
At least.
Technically, for everyone listening, I was a bit sick last episode as well, but I'm getting over a sickness, and I feel mostly fine now, but I've got a cough that comes up every now and again. I think I had a few already on this episode, if you've heard it. But I'm getting over some sickness. I'm getting over some illness. I don't know what it was. Like some kind of cold or something. No scratchy throat. Just coughing and just generally kind of feeling like yuck. Just, you know, that yuck. I got that yuck. And I thought, I don't think we've done an episode on the yuck yet.
Ugh. I don't know if I want to do an episode on the yuck.
This is the yuck episode.
I know we briefly talked about, maybe, I don't know if I cut this or not. Maybe I cut it. I can't remember what, sometimes I cut a minute or two of the beginning depending on what we say or if it makes sense in context of what we're doing. But anyway, I know we talked a little bit about being sick, I think a few months ago, but not for very long.
Yeah.
Now, you're kind of in a weird place because you're a lot like me.
Uh-huh.
Neither of us really get sick that often, but you've kind of gotten like sick like twice for some reason in like 2 months.
Well, that's because I also went like 2 years. No. How long did I haven't been seriously sick, like sick for a long time since COVID happened. And it wasn't even COVID that I had, to my knowledge. It wasn't even COVID that I had. Right. I got sick around January 2020 of something. There was no way to test for COVID yet, so Lord knows. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But, it felt like the flu, which I have had the flu before in 2008. So it had been a long time. But that's what it felt like, and it was bad, and I had it for like a week or whatever. But since then, I haven't been sick like at all, period, for like 3 years. So yeah, so I've got a couple sicknesses back to back basically here recently, but like I don't know, they were kind of a long time
Must be
coming.
making up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we got to get him a couple times here. He's gone too long.
And this most recent one, because like you said a while ago, I was also sick. I was sick of some kind of ailment for probably about a week, but it wasn't like a week bedridden. It was just like fever here, and cough there, and sniffles there, congestion. It was like a week of just kind of cycling through the symptoms. This time I've been sick a couple of days, and it's just mostly been like a cough that kind of came up. I started to develop a sniffle, but then it went away pretty quick. So this was just a very, very mild thing.
That's good.
So yeah, I don't get sick very much. When's the last time you've been sick?
The last time I got sick, it was confirmed COVID. It was actually at the same time that I broke my leg. So it was a horrible time because I had COVID with a broken leg. That was in November 2021.
You may have told me that you had both at the same time. I have just already forgotten that you had both at the same time. What a double whammy.
Well, and let me tell you something. They good thing to do, especially at that when COVID was kind of rampant. It was like get up and move as much as you can. Try not to just stay still. Move. Well, how am I supposed to do that? I have one freaking leg, man. But the worst part too was that I was kind of relying. I was staying with my parents just because I couldn't really take care of myself that well. But they were like feeding me and stuff. Well, they had COVID, and my parents are in their 50s, and it hit them. It didn't hit me that hard, but it hit them hard. And so what happens? They're taking COVID naps. So, they're like 6-hour naps during the day. I'm starving and I can't get any food. So I'm just like sitting in a recliner, just completely malnourished and like hungry and just help somebody. It was terrible.
You needed to rearrange the kitchen, get the recliner next to the refrigerator.
I know. But no, they didn't do anything wrong. I made it sound like they're terrible parents.
Well, no, you just literally couldn't, because you broke your leg, you just couldn't get up to help yourself, or you would have.
And they couldn't help that they had like terrible right. COVID. Which that's a whole interesting thing about how that affected people differently. But anyway, that was the last time. So I guess for me, it's been about a year and a half. But usually what I would do, I've like only been, so you mentioned the flu thing, right? Like
right.
I think I had the flu once, and it was in my life, and it was the most severe thing I've ever had. And that was before 2008. You said 2008 for yours. I think mine was like 2006. A buddy of ours.
It might have been 2007 or 8. I think it was 8. Yeah, 2008.
Me and a buddy got it around the same time. It was like 6 or 2007 maybe. But it was like the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life, like in terms of sickness.
Same.
I couldn't. I don't want to get descriptive, but I mean, everything was coming out of every orifice possible.
Right.
And I remember it was so bad. Like it's going to sound funny, but I'm being serious. Like I would wake up and I like soiled my pants like multiple nights in a row. Like I couldn't keep anything in. It was terrible. And then it was gone and I was fine. I've never had it since. So not that I know of, at least, which is good. I know some people they're just more prone to it, I guess. Some people get the flu every single year.
Right.
I do not want to live that way. I don't want to live that way.
I'll say if I got the flu like I had it in 2008, I do not want that every year. That's miserable. Because mine was bad too. It knocked me out for like a week-ish, about a week, and I was useless for that week. Like just useless. And I think we talked about on the podcast before, I think, that or in private, how like there was like one night it like literally crippled me. Like I just physically couldn't move. All I could do was just lie there and shiver. And I don't remember like everything coming out of every orifice like that, because very early on when I got sick, I think I emptied myself out and I just didn't eat or drink anything. So there was nothing to lose. Because I do remember, again, everyone's the yuck episode, so sorry if you're squeamish, but like a lot of my stuff was dry heaving bile. Like it wasn't, there was nothing to lose, but my body was just, just adamantly trying to remove whatever was inside of me, but there was just nothing to do but just, I don't know, slowly die for a week. It was
right.
That was awful. The 2008 one is still worse. The worst thing I've ever had. Even over, like I said, I felt like I had about the flu in 2020, and that was bad, but not like it was then. The 2008 was the worst thing I'd ever had. Still is, for sure.
I would say the only, like, yeah, I mean, I guess for me, the most comparable thing I get, I mean, there's nothing even close. The only other thing I guess I will mention is that my first day experiencing COVID, that was the only hard day for me. Now, this was during a time when we were still, I think it was still like 14-day, stay away. Or is it
quarantine?
It was 14 days. I think
at one time it was 14, yeah, and it eventually went down a few times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was 14 originally.
But anyway, so I did experience the worst fatigue of my life that first day.
Yeah.
So this is once again was November 2021. I couldn't get out of. I mean, I also had a broken leg, but I couldn't. I remember like I couldn't move any part of my body. This is before I was staying with my parents. I was staying with Steph, and she was supposed to I was going to wake up around like 7:00 and kind of get some work done because I was working from home. And I remember it was like 7:00 and I woke up and I was just tired. I'm like, well, so Steph was like, want me to wake you up in an hour? Yeah, wake me up in an hour. That's fine. And then like I woke up and it was like 12 p.m., which is completely uncharacteristic of me. Even if I go to bed at 3 a.m, I'm going to be getting up no later than 7. And for some reason, it's 12 p.m. and I'm just like, I'm still so tired. So like Steph brought me some food, and I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom. I got to get up, but I'm so tired, and I didn't know, and I wasn't putting anything together yet. And then it was so bad that like I still couldn't get up, and I remember being so scared, like I had to go to the bathroom so bad, but I couldn't get up. So I'm like, Steph, I think I'm going to wet this bed. Like I cannot get up. I ended up being able to get up, but like that was bizarre. So that was strange. But in terms of like yuck, yeah, by far the flu. I've had some like weird, like random stomach bugs.
Yeah, sure.
Which were never fun, just kind of over the years. I had around January 2020, the same time as you, with your other kind of flu. I had a really bad. Whatever it was. I had a pretty bad stomach bug, and I remember I had to go to work. This is when I still worked retail, and this was before COVID. Actually, it might have been literally the week before everything shut down. But anyway, I know it was just like this weird stomach bug because Steph had it too. We thought it might have been something we ate. We don't know, but I remember like once again, yuck. I'm sorry, but I remember I have to go to work, and I don't want to go to work, but I have to go. I need to make myself vomit now in the morning, so it's not just festering and it happens later. So I was in the bathroom trying to make myself vomit. I've never done that before. Okay, but I knew it needed to come out. You know the feeling when you have it. It's like it's gonna come out, but it won't come out. And I'm also like one of those people, I'm kind of afraid of vomiting. Like when I have, like I always hate that feeling. Ugh, I hate it. But I remember I was sitting in front of my toilet. It had to be for 5 or 6 minutes straight, trying to gag myself, and I couldn't vomit. And so that was just the most, I was just kind of dry, So needless to say, I ended up going to work and vomiting there when it was time for me to vomit. And that really sucked. But yeah, that was fun. So that's never a fun time.
No.
Those dang stomach bugs. Have you ever gotten like food poisoning or anything?
I think so. But also we've talked about I'm like a garbage disposal. I have consumed questionable things that probably have given me food poisoning of some kind. But I've got a pretty steel gullet. So like I've definitely had issues with my gut where I'm like something's up. But like I can power through it usually. So I've not had a lot of like really bad, as far as I can remember anyway, bad food poisoning, like throwing up, whatever. I'm pretty good about not throwing up. But I know exactly what you mean because I've been there where it's like, I know it's coming. I'm going to go kind of just will it upon myself and just get this out of the way now while I'm in a controlled environment. I've definitely been there and done that. And that's a lot better than having it sneak up on you.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Then there's, of course, those just random things when you like wake up and you're sick. I've had that happen in the past, but oh, shoot. What was I about to say? I had something to say about. Oh, I was going to ask you, is this about being sick or just yuck in general?
It's about being sick.
I need to know. Okay. I wasn't sure. You said yuck because I thought, I got other yucky stories to share that aren't about being sick.
No, I love it.
We can save those.
This is just the sick episode, but for some reason, I don't remember what we were talking about. We got onto yuck, but well, I think I said yuck episode, but I meant sick. Yeah, it's a sick episode. You know, like it can be yucky or it can be mundane. Like everyone knows the like head cold, like you're congested, headache, fever, sniffling, coughing, you know, the typical stuff. Everyone knows the typical stuff. How often do you get like colds? Like a lot of people, I think, especially myself included, like I'll shrug off like a day cold, like a cold that lasts a day or maybe two, and I'll forget that I was ever even sick anyway. It's like, I had a cold for a day, you know?
Right. I kind of put colds in their own categories too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so like when I say like I rarely get sick, I mean, with colds, so this is the longest I've ever gone, I think, without any cold. And it's been since the summer of 2021. So about 2 years. Now, historically, I usually get a cold every August.
Okay.
In the summer. I don't know why. That just for some reason at that time for me, it's always in August, and it's always when I'm about to play a gig and I can't sing anymore. And it makes me mad. Like almost every year I have some sort of performance I have to do. It's just a weird timing thing. But that's usually for me, historically speaking, it's been once a year. And it's the same thing as you. It's like it's really bad for, or not really bad, but it's a prominent cold for like a day and a half, maybe two, maybe a third one where it's like working its way out, but it's never like 4 or 5, week or whatever like that. Nothing like that. It's kind of similar to you. So I kind of shrug those off as kind of their own thing. It's just like it's a rite of passage as a human. It's going to happen.
Because I usually, it's funny that you mentioned you always get in August. Typically, I get a cold every December or January. It's right around that kind of New Year's, right? So it's December, maybe it's January. Right around then is usually when I get about a cold once a year.
Yeah.
So
see, that makes more sense. That time,
it makes more sense. Although I have increasingly, as I've been in charge of people where I work or whatever, taking care of sick leave and stuff, I've increasingly noticed that apparently people get sick in the summer. That to me is weird and unheard of. Yeah, but now all of a sudden, I guess it happens to everyone all the time. I don't know. Apparently.
It's like, oh, wow.
Oh, okay, yeah, sick again, huh? All right. But no, besides that, like I guess August, which I don't know if some of it, I know some people say they're sick, but they're not sick. They just have allergies. So like around harvest season, that's a big one. But it's not, you're not sick of anything. It's you're allergic to the crap in the air. But, I don't
allergies,
count that.
That's a totally different, that's a completely different thing. Allergies used to hit me pretty bad. They actually, or I say used to, they actually hit me bad now, and they never really did before. And that's because I live in a region of the country. I live in where it's like pollen is like super, super, super bad. In fact, Memphis is like, as a city, it's like number 3 or number 4 worst for pollen in the country.
Oh, really?
Like it's up there. And I mean, I walk outside at the time of the year and like my car is like green. Like you can see a film of green on my car. I'm dead serious.
Gross. Yuck.
It's bad. And so it's hit me bad now. It used to not, but also pollen isn't as bad up back where we're from, but it's still not great, but it's definitely not as bad as this. So yeah, that makes it worse. But yeah, allergies are its own thing. But see, I always thought the August thing was weird too, though. Like, why am I getting a cold? Like, it's like it's the it's like 90 degrees outside, and I got the sniffles, and I'm shivering inside.
I guess
I don't get it.
In school, like when you're still like in school, like high school, middle school, whatever, I guess it almost makes sense if you're someone who like gets away from people in the summer, and then school starts up usually in August. I think it's late August, but starts up in August. So if you're like getting exposed to a bunch of people all at once for the first time in a couple months, over summer break, then maybe that would cause a sickness. I would understand if it were you in school, but if it's you outside of school too, then I have no idea. That's all I got.
Yeah, it's me by myself, just randomly getting sick. But it's funny. There's some people in your life who just always get sick all the time. Like there's somebody that I work with, and I swear to the heavens that every 3 months he's sick. Like, even if it's just the sniffles, it's that often, though. I'd say it's got to be like 4 or 5 times a year. It's like, what is your immune system just that bad, or what is it? Like, maybe he's got some sort of autoimmune thing I don't know about. I don't know,
sure.
But like, it's possible. But I figured he'd say it. I don't know, but it's just wild. Like, is there anybody that like, you don't have to obviously name names, but is there anyone like that's just sick all the time? Like, not people that work for you.
Like we'll chronically sick all the time. Not including a couple people I've known that have just literal, like, serious health issues that has nothing to do with being sick. They just get sick easy because they have other crap. Just as far as I know, like average folks, but they just happen to be sick all the time. Not really. Definitely, I know people that are definitely sick more than I am. But again, like we were saying, usually I'm never sick. So it's hard to when you're one of those people that's blessed, apparently, with a built different immune system. It's hard to like know what's actually like a normal rate of getting sick, like how often a year like a normal person should be sick. I don't have a clue.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that usually when you're like super, super, super young, it's more common because obviously your immune system's developing and whatnot.
Right.
But I actually know somebody who has a very young child, and they're sick a ton. And I remember my friend was saying, she's like, well, it's common, like when you're young for them. This child, by child, I mean like I think just barely over 1, and sick all the time. And I'm thinking, yeah, but this seems like a lot. And I remember I texted my mom. I was like, Mom, when I was like 1, 2, like toddler age, how often was I sick? And she said, I mean, maybe like once a year. I'm thinking, oh, that sounds a little more normal than 8 times a year.
Right.
There's exceptions to the rule, but I'm thinking, I don't know. So I guess it's, at least for me, been kind of pretty consistent with the once a year thing, just going on. I would say it is a blessing because I know some folks, and like some folks, it gets bad enough to where like something's not going away and they got to go to the doctor and they got to like, get something for it. Like I've never really had to ever experience anything like that, and I would hate that experience. So
I would say, speaking of like children and privilege, I don't know how common this is, but whatever the heck, like what is it, hand, foot, mouth, or whatever disease, where kids, where just because they touch everything and they put their feet in their mouths or whatever. I think it's hand, foot, mouth, or whatever it's called. The first time I've ever heard of this in my life was just late last year.
I never heard of it either.
I had never heard of this, and then all of a sudden,
years.
I was hearing it all the time last year. I'm like, what is this hand, foot, mouth? And everyone's pretending it's normal. I've never heard of it in my nearly 30 years of life. What are you talking about?
Don't worry, you're not alone.
Okay.
I remember thinking when I first heard someone say it, I thought they were making like a joke for the name of it.
Yeah, like I was thinking hands, shoulders, knees and toes, right? Like what's hand, foot, mouth?
I'm still not quite sure what exactly it is. Is it just?
I think it's just general sickness for kids, just because they touch things and put their feet in their mouth. Is that like it's just literally a catch-all phrase for basically a cold, I guess. I don't even know 100%, but that's my understanding.
Hand, foot,
mouth.
Yeah,
I'm like, what is hand, foot, mouth?
I think there'd be a better. Is that a dance?
Right? That's what I was.
Everybody do the hand, foot, mouth. Oh, speaking of kids, did you ever get the chicken pox?
No. So
you never got chicken pox?
Don't touch me, I'll catch the dang mumps or whatever people. What is it? Chickenpox develops into something when you're an adult. When you're an adult, you don't really get chickenpox anymore. You get something else.
The mumps thing sounds familiar.
I don't remember.
I'm not sure.
I'd have to look this up. I am not a doctor.
Well, in the 90s, it was very commonplace for parents to like get their kids who have chickenpox all together and do like chickenpox parties.
Right. I've heard of that. That sounds horrible to me, but maybe it makes sense. I don't know.
Listen, it was the 90s. Well, because, the idea is that, if you're going to get it, you want to get it when you're young.
Right. It just sounds like the poor man's vaccine or something, right? Like, well, I can't go get shot with a needle. We're just going to rub kids together until they all have the pox.
Look, it was a weird time, but guess whose mom did it? Mine.
Well, Lot did,
We did it. We did a chickenpox party, me and some friends, and I guess my mom, she found out one of my friends, his name was Tony, he had them. So we're like, all right, get them together. And, I was a kid, I had no idea. And then I still, I'm getting itchy thinking about it. I still remember how itchy that was. And I was kindergarten, maybe?
Yeah.
Around that age at least. And I still, I'm scratching my, I hate that. When you, see a bug, you start to get all itchy. I'm feeling that right now. But, well, goodness, I hope you don't. You know what? You've gone this long. You'll be fine.
I'll be fine. It's shingles I was thinking of, not mumps, by the way. Chickenpox, once you've had it as a child, later in life, can turn into shingles instead of chickenpox.
Oh.
So it's shingles that I was thinking of. Again, I'm not going to do a deep dive into why or how it would turn into that, but that's what I was thinking of. I always knew that chickenpox is a thing that can lead into another thing once you're an adult. Chickenpox as a kid, shingles as an adult.
Have you ever had any, I'm only thinking about this because one of my 2P shorts came out and I forgot I talked about it, but my editor reminded me that I talked about it, which was rash. Have you ever had a weird rash? Any weird skin things?
I've had oddball skin things, but nothing that was ever serious. It was kind of caused by just, one odd thing or another, usually like dry skin or whatever.
Okay, but never what is this? I'm not sure what this is. Should I get this looked at? You've never had anything like that?
Not really, other than just, because my body is riddled with freckles and moles because I'm just a giant walking ball of cancer, apparently. But, but no, well, that's basically what freckles and moles are, just benign cancer. But anyway, I've seen a dermatologist to have my body checked out, but no, I've never come across a rash that was concerning to me. It was just kind of well, we're going to monitor that and make sure it's not just a reaction to something. And then if it goes away, cool.
That's right. That's kind of my rule of thumb, really, with just about anything that, with my body. I try to be as in tune with my body as I can, and I just listen to it. And if something seems off, there's a reason why it's off. Pay attention to it. But because there's a lot of people who will just rush very quickly to the doctor to get something taken care of. And I feel like a lot of those times, if you would have given it a few more days, you would have been fine.
But there are the people on the other end of the spectrum, which would probably be me, where you have a life-threatening, flesh-eating disease, and you're like, nah, it's fine. Because you wait until, the last second to go to the doctor, and it's yeah, you should have come in here a week ago, or more. Well,
that's the thing, yeah. So that's the thing. There is that gamble, I guess, that you can take. That would, it's wait, Weston died? He had
how'd he die? He had stage 97 cancer because he's a moron.
Yeah, I was going to say, he had 11 tumors.
On the outside. We could see them. He's crazy. Anyway, on that note, what a weird note to laugh at. It's anyway, on that note, we're going to hit some ads, and we're going to play a game of, is this a real cure or a made-up cure? Well, they're all, I'm willing to believe they're all made up. But we're going to play the cure game. I didn't come up with a name with this. Come join me on the other side. We'll talk about it in a minute.
The cure game. Let's do it. Okay, bye.
Profoundish is
brought to you in part by Magic Man Mo, a gaming YouTube channel run by me. We stream and we do variety Let's Plays. Check out a short stream compilation to see if it's something that you're going to be into. It's a lot of fun. I made it, so I know. That's Magic Man Mo on YouTube.
Profoundish is brought to you in part by Alex Duquette Medleys. I make theme song medleys, which is where I take a bunch of theme songs and mash them up into one bite-sized song. From Nickelodeon to Adult Swim, I cover it all. So, if you want to take a fun nostalgic trip, search my name, Alex Duquette, on YouTube, or go to alexduquette.net.
Welcome back, everybody. I have
The Cure.
We're playing a little game of guess which one's the real one.
Okay.
I didn't come up with a name with this. You know, in my eternal wisdom, I didn't come up with a name of this. There are, as you might imagine, in the past, a number of bizarre concoctions and remedies that have been invented for illnesses.
Yep.
And
a lot of weird ones.
A lot of them sound like they were just made up on the spot.
And maybe they were.
So I have a list. And maybe they were. So, in fact, I have a list of some bizarre natural remedies that were invented in I think this is from the 1740s.
Oh, boy.
Most of what I'm reading today was specifically invented by a man of the name John Wesley. I felt a kinship there. It's so close to being Weston that I was like, oh, okay. Who wrote a book, basically, on natural remedies to cure... allegedly, quote unquote, most diseases. So,
wow.
We're going to be reading some of his very powerful home remedies that are completely legitimate. 100%. This was a thing that was proposed and done in real life. But I'm going to be pairing them up with cures that I invented.
Okay.
So I will give you two pairs, I mean one pair of cures, right? One thing that John Wesley wrote in the 1740s, and one thing that I wrote earlier today.
Your delivery was perfect there. That was funny.
I have rewritten John Wesley's cures in my own words, so that all of it that I'm reading to you is in my own words, so that there's no way you can try to be like, hang on, this sounds more... Because you've known me for a long time. You know what I sound like. You know how I write things. So none of this should sound like, oh, this is definitely a Weston answer. This is some other guy, John Wesley, from the 1740s.
Right.
So I've got a few of these, and you're going to be guessing which is which.
That's fun. Okay. Do I win a prize or no prize?
Sure. If you get... Let's have a prize. If you get more than half, right? More than half of these correct... you will have earned the title of the official Profoundish medical expert.
Oh, wow. That's a resume builder right there.
Yeah, that's a resume builder. But if you get less than half of these correct, you could be the official Profoundish medical dunce.
Dunce. Can I wear like the cone on my head too that just says dunce?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I encourage it, in fact.
Okay.
If
All
you
right.
get exactly half of these right, nothing happens. You get neither.
No,
So
I'm
that's
the
like
official.
worst
I'm the
outcome.
official Profoundist Dunspert. It's in between.
The Dunspert. Okay, sure. The Dunspert. What's a Dunspert? Yes.
Exactly.
So I'll start you off with your first pair here. All right.
Okay.
To cure a fever with shivering and cold sweats, gently vomit approximately 2 hours before the next bout of chills. Wearing a perforated bag of groundsel on the pit of the stomach may be necessary if the vomiting alone fails. Groundsel is a common weed found in California.
Okay.
Or, to cure congestion, accompanied by sharp headaches, aggressively massage the scalp every few hours. Wearing an open bag of crushed nettles around the neck should clear the congestion.
Crush metals around the neck?
Yes. One of these two descriptions is a real-life, written in a book, proposed natural remedy, as written by John Wesley in the 1740s, and the other one is mine. Which is which?
I feel like, well, my first initial thought was the real one, like the real one was the head massage thing until you mentioned the crushed metals.
Crushed nettles. Nettles with an N.
Oh! I thought you said metals.
No, not metals. Nettles.
Okay.
You've probably heard of like nettle tea.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
That's completely different.
Very, very much so.
That's why I was so weirded out. Like, metals?
Although the metals thing, that was a common one. I think it was copper. Like, wearing like copper like bracelets and necklaces and stuff was apparently a remedy for, I think, blood flow or something. My grandma was into it briefly.
I think at least I've heard of that. I've never done that, but okay.
I don't think it does anything at all. I think that's hokey, but that was a thing.
Right. I think the real one. This was the 1700s though.
1740s. We are talking about nearly 300 years ago.
You know what? I'm gonna say the vomit one. Vomit a couple or the vomit.
You believe the real one is to cure a fever with shivering and cold sweats, gently vomit approximately 2 hours before the next bout of chills. Wearing a perforated bag of groundsel on the pit of the stomach may be necessary if the vomiting alone fails.
Wait, you don't know when I'm glad you read that again. I'm changing it.
Yeah.
My initial thought was the head rubbing and all that, but then I thought, that sounds too right. So it can't be. He wrote that. Never mind. But you said, like, you don't know when your next bout of chills is necessarily going to be. So I'm going to go with the head rubbing.
To cure congestion accompanied by sharp headaches, aggressively massage the scalp every few hours. Wearing an open bag of crushed nettles around the neck should clear the congestion. You believe that is the correct one?
Yes, I do.
Are you locking it in?
I'm locking it in.
That's mine.
Dang it, I went back and forth.
You got it wrong. I love that you mentioned how would you know, 2 hours before. Allow me to read you
oh boy,
Wesley's nonsense here.
Okay.
This is actually specifically the disease he's trying to cure. I described it instead of giving it the name because the name is archaic and old. This is to cure ague or ague. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But Wesley describes ague as an intermittent fever, each fit of which is preceded by a cold shivering and goes off in a sweat. So cold sweats, shivering, and fever.
Yep.
There are many natural remedies for curing it, but all must be preceded by taking a gentle vomit, which is taken 2 hours before the fit. Again, I have no idea how you're supposed to know when to do that.
Yeah, how are you going to...
2 hours before the fit, Wesley says, will generally prevent it and may even cure the ague. If the vomiting fails, however, Wesley suggests wearing a bag of groundsel, a weed, on the pit of the stomach, renewing it 2 hours before the fit. The weed should be shredded small, and the side of the bag facing the skin should have holes in it. Should this not work, Wesley suggests a remedy that requires a stronger stomach. Make 6 middling pills of cobwebs, take 1 a little before the cold fit, 2 a little before the next fit, the other 3, if need be, a little before the third fit. I never knew this to fail.
Really? Wow, what a track record. Weird.
Very much so. I still don't know how you're supposed to know 2 hours before you're fit. I know the description says that I guess like the shivering and sweating should happen before the fever, but like
I don't know.
I don't know how you have a fit of fever. Like what does
That's so
that mean?
Strange.
It is very strange.
But hey, we're not...
It's almost as if he made it up on the spot in 1740.
Right. But hey, listen, we're not Dr. Wesley, all right?
We're not. That's Dr. Wesley. I'm Dr. Weston.
That's right.
So your second pair of cures, all right? Which one is the real one? To cure the pervasive need to blink often, apply a dab of mustard to the temples. Or...
Okay. Sorry,
to cure an insatiable desire to eat, dip a small bit of bread into wine and apply it to the nostrils.
Okay. All right.
One of these is the real natural remedy, and one of them I made up.
Now, what? So I'm trying to think. I don't know how, if I can be honest, I don't know how far back mustard goes. Like, at least as we know it.
No, that's a good question. I'm not sure. Mustard. Sorry, I just died for a second. That was a good one. Anyway, I know the mustard seed has been around for a long time because I know it shows up in the Bible.
Right, exactly.
That's the earliest I can think of for mustard seed. So I guess mustard's been around for a while.
I guess. Yeah, because I thought of that too. Well, mustard to the temples or bread dipped in wine to the nostrils.
Yes.
What I'm really trying to do is think about what you would write. That's what I'm actually trying to do. And then
very tricky here.
These are both strange, but I think you would write the bread to the nostrils. So I'm going to say the real one is mustard to the temples. I mean,
you believe the one written by Dr. Wesley in the 1740s was to cure the pervasive need to blink often, apply a dab of mustard to the temples.
Yes.
You locking it in?
I am locking that in, man.
I wrote that one.
Damn it! This is tough. These are both so crazy.
I know. To be fair, I did kind of model mine after Dr. Wesley, so these are meant to be hard, but it's because they're so ridiculous.
Wow.
So, yeah, this is
wow.
What's that?
No, go ahead.
So Dr. Wesley actually stole this one from a Dr. Schomburg for his book, but either way, this is actually to cure what he calls canine appetite, which is defined as an insatiable desire of eating. If there's no vomiting, apparently, if you are really hungry and you're not vomiting, it's often cured by a small bit of bread dipped in wine and applied to the nostrils, and that's it.
You just smell it. You just that
you dip some bread in wine. If you're just this insatiable desire, I must eat food. Dip some bread in some wine and shove it up your nose, and apparently that'll cure it.
It's that easy this whole time? Wow.
That's something that we could all try at home. We should. Wine.
We should. Our first video appearance as Profoundish, we should do that. We should
just dip some bread into wine and put it up our noses when we're hungry. When we do our 24-hour stream or whatever, it's like, oh god, I could really go for some pizza right now. Hang on, dip the bread,
Hold on. Get the wine. No, not that one. That one's too expensive.
All right, I've got a third pair. You're off to a great start so far.
Thanks. How many are there?
I figured I've got 11 prepared, but I figured we'd get through as many as we get through because I didn't know how long these would take. So I've got 11 prepared. We'll see how many we get through.
Okay.
All right. To cure asthma, eat only carrots for a fortnight. Or to cure migraines, drink only beer every day until the head clears.
I'm gonna go beer.
Gonna go beer for the real one?
Beer for the real one.
To cure migraines, drink only beer every day until the head clears.
Yep.
That one was written by me.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Man, I could have been a doctor in the 1740s. I'm very believable.
Goodness gracious. It's funny because that one sounds more archaic to me than the carrots one does. To me.
Right.
Dang it.
Wow. I wrote that one because, if you just keep drinking beer every day, why would your head ever clear? You're going to be hungover all the time.
Well, no, I was just thinking, hair of the dog sort of thing. If you're always just drunk,
yeah, I guess
you're never going to feel it. True. That's what I was thinking.
This one goes, tar water, seawater, nettle juice, and quicksilver are all acceptable cures for what Wesley calls moist asthma, which is characterized by the difficulty of breathing with the patient spitting much. But a method that seldom fails, Wesley says, is living a fortnight on boiled carrots only. So if you've got asthma, just eat carrots.
Yeah, once again, if it's that easy.
He's got a different remedy for dry asthma, what he calls dry and convulsive asthma, which can be treated with toad, dried and powdered. Make it into small pills and take one every hour until the convulsions fade.
Toad pills?
Just take a toad, dry it, and turn it into powder, and compress it into pills, and take one every hour until convulsions fade.
I can't help but think about, like, Nintendo Toad. You're just eating like little toads.
Hey! I'm a pill! I feel like John Wesley, what was his name? John Wesley?
John Wesley.
I feel like John Wesley was a witch.
Yeah. Yeah, there was something going on. There's some witchcraft or something demonic's happening with this man.
Apparently he was just a further history, which is really interesting. Apparently he was an evangelist and a co-founder of Methodism.
Really?
So I guess, like, if you're a Methodist, you might even recognize this name, because apparently he's a co-founder.
Interesting.
1740s were crazy, dude.
Weird times. Fast times in the 1740s, let me tell you.
Let me give you your fourth pair of cures.
All right.
I'm
going to get this
To cure calluses, soak in a bath of boiled potatoes and apple cider. Or, to cure nosebleeds, steep a rag in vinegar, burn it, and blow it up the nose.
Ooh. These are, I don't know anymore. At first I thought I understood the tone, like I could, or like not the tone, the feel of his answers, but I was wrong. So I'm completely blind here. So you said it was burning or soaking something in vinegar and burning it. What was it? Sorry.
To cure nosebleeds, steep a rag in vinegar, burn it, and blow it up the nose.
Blow it up the nose.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I'm feeling the calluses one. I'm thinking that's the real one. Soaking in, what is it, boiled potatoes and apple cider? Is that what it was?
Right. You think the real one is to cure calluses, soak in a bath of boiled potatoes and apple cider. Are you locking it in?
You know what? I just changed my mind. Last minute switch up. I'm doing the vinegar one. That's the real one, and I'm locking it in.
You're locking in to cure nosebleeds, steep a rag in vinegar, burn it, and blow it up the nose. That is your first correct answer, finding John Wesley's cure for nosebleeds.
I had a weird feeling.
I was so ready to blank you one more time. This goes a little further. To prevent or cure nosebleeds, drinking whey and eating raisins every day, Wesley says, can help prevent nosebleeds. Other methods of preventing or curing the phenomenon include holding a red-hot poker under the nose and steeping a linen rag in sharp vinegar, burning it, and blowing it up the nose with a quill. I don't know how you blow up the nose with a quill. I just left that part out.
Yeah, wow. I'm not going to try that.
I like the idea that if you've got a nosebleed, just hold a hot poker under the nose, like to threaten the nose. Like, you better stop or you're going to get it.
Well, I was thinking, like, that could be a good threat to anybody. Like, how'd you like a hot poker under the nose?
I could see, like, if you shoved the hot poker up your nose, like actually shoving it up there, you would like, what's the word when you like burn something closed? You'll like,
is it
that
like
word?
It's like nair. It's like, or not nair.
I don't even know how to Google it.
But I know what you mean.
It.
Like it barely grazes. Like, is that what you're saying?
I can't think of the word. Yeah. I think we know what we're talking about. But you know, when you got like an open wound and you burn it shut because that's like your only option, you something it. Someone out there knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, You got your first right answer.
All right.
What do I look like, a doctor?
Hey, I'm working here.
I've got your fifth pair here.
Okay.
To cure a head cold, thinly slice the yellow of an orange rind, roll up the slice, and place one in each nostril.
Okay.
Or, to cure bags under the eyes, grind a lemon into rind and apply lightly, liberally to the cheeks.
These are both very similar to each other.
They're very similar.
You know what? I'm gonna say the real one is gonna be the orange rind roll up into the nostrils.
To cure a head cold, thinly slice the yellow of an orange rind, roll up the slice, and place one in each nostril.
Yeah, he's really into the nose stuff. So I so I'm gonna go with that one.
That one is by John Wesley, and ding, 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 your
Yes!
second correct answer.
Woo!
I couldn't think, I don't know
Redemption
why
time.
I thought bags under the eyes constitutes like a disease or something that can be cured. I think that's part genetics and part sleep deprivation. I don't think there's anything to do about
Right.
that.
Right.
Other than, I don't know, makeup or something.
It was comparable in weirdness, though.
This one, for John Wesley, getting rid of the common ailment is easy, according to Wesley. Just pare very thin the yellow rind of an orange. Roll it up inside out and thrust a roll inside each nostril. So yeah, just orange rind up the nose.
I mean, it'd be very citrusy.
It would be. I feel like I wouldn't be able to stand it. That's just just a lot of orange to sniff all day.
Oh, I can't have anything in my nose. You know, like when you get a stuffy nose, like
Yeah.
sometimes like I've done this before, but it gets too tickly. But like you'll like take like a chunk of like Kleenex and put it in your nostril and just let it soak up all the right. It tickles so bad I can't keep it in there. I just can't do it.
I'm okay with tissue up the nose, but like tissue, like I don't do any of the weird like Vicks tissues, you know, like the ones that just smell like medicinal or whatever. I don't do any of that. Just plain old tissue up the nose is fine, but I don't want to be sniffing it, you know?
I hear you.
All right. I got a sixth pair for you.
All right.
To cure the crying of a healthily fed baby, apply flannel.
Excuse me? Like just put flannel on them?
To cure a sulking hound, apply an ounce of olive oil to the feed.
A soaking hound?
A sulking.
Sulking.
Like sad, crying.
Sulking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard soaking. I'm thinking, well, the
Just
olive
dry it
oil's-
off.
Just get a towel. What
Get a
was it?
towel.
Put a dab of what? You say olive oil?
To cure a sulking hound, apply an ounce of olive oil to the feed.
Or put flannel on a baby?
Or, to cure the crying of a healthily fed baby, apply flannel.
God forbid it's a baby that doesn't, have a healthy diet. Flannel, that's not going to work. You have to do like capris or something. That was the only article of clothing I could think of were capris. Nobody wears those anymore.
And maybe they'll come back.
Just because I said it.
You heard it here on the podcast. Capris are coming back.
That's right. Alex Duquette, the center of fashion, has said it. This is the 1740s. So I'm trying to think about of course, then again, you could have reworded things, but like flannel. I don't know. I mean, I guess we wore things that were like flannel, even if they weren't flannel then. I'm trying to think about like this time appropriate stuff. You know what? I'm going to go with, I want to go with the baby, but
I want to go with the baby. The healthily fed baby.
It's a healthily fed baby. You reworded these, so it's tough.
It is.
Because I do like the idea of basically what the doctor's saying is if the if the baby's crying a lot, just give it a freaking blanket. like that's basically what he's saying.
Right. Like, it's healthy. It's fed. Just give it some flannel. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. But that's so outlandish that it might be him. I'm gonna, I'm gonna go with the baby. That's the real one.
You're going with to cure the crying of a healthily fed baby, apply flannel. Locking it in?
Locking it
in. Ding, ding. That is the correct answer by John Wesley. This is to cure a habitual colic. All right. Today's doctors define colic as a condition suffered by a healthy, well-fed infant who cries for more than 3 hours per day, for more than 3 days per week, for more than 3 weeks. But adults can get it too. It's characterized by severe stomach pains and spasms, which we now know can be an indication of other conditions like Crohn's disease and irritable bowel syndrome. To cure it, Wesley suggests this odd remedy. Wear a thin, soft flannel on the part. What on the part means? I don't know. But wear a thin, soft flannel. I don't know if... Because this is, I guess, if it seems like maybe the baby's like kind of like rubbing at its belly or scratching its head, or if maybe the baby seems like it's uncomfortable somewhere, wrap that thing in flannel.
Wow. Okay.
That's it. Wear flannel.
Well, gosh, I need to pass that information along to my dad. That's one of my dad's areas of expertise is IBS. So I should let him know to start carrying some flannel in the office.
Yeah, he just needs to wear some flannel pants.
Oh my God. Yeah, my baby's, horrible. It's like, hold on. Let me go get the flannel. He comes in looking like a lumberjack. Just trust me on this.
Trust me. Could you imagine if it worked, though?
I mean,
he goes to his doctors and they're like, oh my God, you're cured.
I like to think that like doctors joke about they joke about John Wesley, and they they have their inside jokes about like flannel and all that stuff.
All right, I've got a seventh pair for you because right now you're dead even, neck and neck, 3 misses, but you're on a streak right now. That was a hat trick. You're on 3 correct.
Whew,
so,
I know.
3 down, 3 up. Here's your 7th one, your 7th pair. To cure darkness on the lip, periodically apply ice.
Okay.
Or, to cure white specks in the eye, apply wax on the speck before bed.
Like putting wax on your eye?
Correct.
That sounds so freaking crazy that it's probably him. Because... Actually, I just forgot. What was the other one again? I'm so sorry. I just forgot it.
To cure darkness on the lip, periodically apply ice.
That sounds like so... At first I thought, okay, that's so simple that, at that time, that would be like a remedy that he'd have to tell somebody, like, if you're bruised up, apply ice. But I almost feel like it's the... I think it's the other one.
I think it's the white specks in the eye, apply wax on the speck before bed.
I think he's telling people to put wax on their eyeballs. Yes.
Are you locking it in?
It's
all
locked.
Right. In that case, ding, 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 you're correct. He's absolutely applying wax on people's eyes. Listen to this. Whilst it's unclear exactly what white specks in the eye actually is, eye floaters maybe, Wesley suggests that when going to bed, put a little earwax on the speck. This has cured many.
Earwax?
Earwax. I dumbed it down to just wax. He wants you to put earwax in your eye before bed.
Oh my God. That sounds horrible. Like, there's been a couple times where I've had to, use eye drops for one reason or another. And I can't even do those. Like, someone has to hold it open for me. Like, I can't even hold it open myself. I get so scared. Like,
I'm right there with you. I hate anything in the eye.
Oh, I hate it. But, like, I can't imagine just digging in my ear or taking, like, a Q-tip. And then, all right. Good night, honey. Just put my wax on my eyes before turning out the lights. That's so weird.
My favorite is that no one knows what white specks in the eye is. No one knows what that means.
Right. Well, listen, it was a different time.
It was. We're getting a little late on time. Do you want to do a few more, or do you want to call it there?
Well, if we call it here, I just won.
If we call it there with 4 correct answers in a row, that's more than half. You will be the official Profoundish medical expert.
How about this? Let's put it on the line between expert or dunspert. Let's do one more. So, or no, that wouldn't be half anymore, would it? What would it be if
that would put you right at dead even. Unless you just want to put it all on the line, we can do it.
Well, no, I kind of want to put it like, so if I get the next one right, or I'll be the expert. If I get the next one wrong, that'll make me a dunspert, right?
Yeah, if you get the next one wrong, it'll be dead even, and you'll be a dunspert.
Okay, let's. I want to take that chance. Let's do one more.
Okay. I'll let you choose between pick 8, 9, 10, or 11.
I want to do 10.
You want to do number 10? All right, we'll jump to my number 10. All right. This was... Okay. Okay. It's either to cure the vomiting of excrement by the mouth, apply warm flannel soaked in wine, constantly holding a puppy on the belly.
What?
Or...
That's even crazy for you, John. Goodness.
To cure the excreting of vomit, pray.
Well, hold on. Because that almost sounds like a possession thing.
Well, they're both very strange. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, maybe
remember,
they're both demonic.
The first is to cure the vomiting of excrement by the mouth.
Oh, that's true. You said excrement.
Yes. And the second is to cure the excreting of vomit.
Oh, I didn't even think about that one.
Think about what these mean. They are both very strange, and one of them is real.
Yeah. God, what kind of patience did this guy have? Okay. I mean, holding a warm flannel, or soaked in something, I don't know, and then there's
one is very complicated, one is very simple. One was made by John Wesley, one was made by me. To reiterate, it's either to cure the vomiting of excrement by the mouth, apply warm flannel soaked in wine, constantly holding a puppy on the belly. Or to cure the excreting of vomit, pray. I will remind you that John Wesley was a co-founder of Methodism.
Yeah, you're right. I'm going to go for that second one.
You want to go for the second one?
Mm-hmm.
To cure the excreting of vomit, pray? Are you locking that in as the correct answer by John Wesley?
As much as I want the other one to be right, I'm pretty sure, I'm almost positive you wrote that. It's too good. So yes, I'm locking that one in.
Well then, with that, you are Profoundish's official Dunspert.
No! Seriously?
Seriously?
He told people to put puppies on their stomach. What's that have to do with anything? Is it supposed to be a distraction or something? I wonder what the thinking is behind that.
This is to cure the iliac passion. This is what this is called. The decidedly unpleasant condition, which Wesley defines as a violent kind of colic. The excrements are thrown up by the mouth in vomiting. It has few cures, including applying warm flannel soaked in spirits of wine. Most delightful, however, is the cure recommended by Dr. Sydenham that he includes in his book. Hold a live puppy constantly on the belly.
Why?
That's it. If you're vomiting excrement, wear flannels that you've soaked in wine, because John Wesley's obsessed with flannel and wine. Because remember, he's the one that has you put wine-soaked bread up your nose, right?
And
He wants you
flannel
to
on babies.
And flannel on babies. He wants you to wear wine-soaked flannel. And then his friend Sydenham, apparently, suggests also, probably just for comfort, holding a puppy constantly on your belly.
The only thing that would have made it funnier is if it were a baby. Like, wine-soaked flannel, hold a baby on your belly.
Find a baby wherever you can.
Or a wine-soaked baby.
Soak a baby in wine.
Oh, God,
That
wow.
sets you even at 4 and 4, correct and wrong. So that makes you our Dunspert, our Profoundish
happy to be a
official Dunspert.
I'm kind of happy about being a Dunspert. That's fun.
Just as a bonus one, you want to know what his cure for a palpitating, beating heart is?
Yes.
Becoming electrified.
Really?
Yep. Among the so to cure the palpitation or beating of the heart. Yes, that's right. To cure the beating of the heart,
God forbid.
drink a pint of cold water and apply outwardly a rag dipped in vinegar, and then be electrified.
Just be electrified.
Be electrified. Which
Is that
this writer that I'm getting this from notes, also in parentheses, this is suggested for a few other illnesses as well.
It's like just letting you know this guy's crazy.
This guy is off the chamber, man.
I want to learn more about. I forgot his name now. John Henry.
John Wesley.
Wesley.
From the 1740s. He wrote a book called Primitive Physic, spelled Physick. Primitive spelled like primitive. But Primitive Physique, or an easy and natural method of curing most diseases.
I mean, man, what a resume. I mean, he's got remedies for most diseases. That's incredible.
Just to cite my sources, I did get this information from Mental Floss, and this was written by Aaron McCarthy from 2019. 17 bizarre natural remedies from the 1700s.
Thanks,
curiously,
Aaron.
He titles it 17, and he lists 1 through 17, but he repeats number 6 by accident. So there's actually 18 things here.
Oh.
And I'm coming he wrote this in 2019. I'm coming at you from 2023 to correct your wrongs. McCarthy.
So updated. If you still work for Mental Floss, go up there and update that article.
Yeah. Aaron McCarthy, you doubled your 6 in your list of 17. There's actually 18 here. Thank you very much.
Aaron McCarthy, you bum.
Thank you all
editorial
so much
bum.
You editorial bum. Thank you all so much for listening to Profoundish. Alex, where can we find you?
AlexDuquette.net. I make music there. I also make music on YouTube. But no, let me restart that. AlexDuquette.net. Just go there and see everything I do right there. I worded that poorly. Where can people, I'm keeping it short. Where can people find you, Weston?
WestonHasty.com is my landing page for all the things I do. I do gaming stuff on Magic Man Mo on YouTube. Say hi to me on Twitter at Weston Hasty. And you've been listening to Profoundish. You can find us where you're listening to us. Just stay here. Just do the things here. We're on Spotify and YouTube and Apple, I believe. And we're on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok at Profoundish Pod. Wherever you're listening to us, give us likes, follows, subscriptions, 5 stars, the things that you can do those things. And thank you for listening. Until next time, bye-bye.
Dunspert.
Stay well. Don't get sick. Don't let the Dunspert get you.
Don't let... That sounds like an old Swedish folk tale. Don't let the Dunspert get you.
I read this book by John Wesley, and he says the Dunspert will come and get you.
If you don't hold a baby on your belly.
Wrapped in flannel. And soaked in wine.
Of course.
Of course. The age-old tale.
Tale as old as time.
Beauty and the baby.
Beauty
or
of the baby.
Baby and the Flannel.
Yeah. It's Flannel and the Babe.
Flannel and the Babe.
So stupid. It's late. We're out of here. Bye.